Yes. The agenda.
Okay, folks. Welcome to the 16th annual meeting of the council. So our first agenda item is 23-2401, election of the chair. Do we have any nominations?
I propose Philippa Gibbons.
No, second.
Any other nominations? Okay, so
I've got it.
we have one nomination. All in favour?
You can put your hand up first.
Well, thank you, folks. Okay, so we'll move on to 23-2402, Chair's remarks. Thank you very much for giving me this position again. As we come into the new civic year, we'll give a formal welcome to our new councillor, William Gentleman. Everyone's met you so far. He's here today. You've all got your acceptance of office forms, which you will collect from you tonight. Should be in front of you. Just a reminder from me, because as I was thinking about this today, no election expenses returns do have to be submitted and do have to be required to council. So if you haven't submitted any election expenses returns, please remember to do so, otherwise you will be disbarred.
Yes.
And obviously, following the elections and the district council elections, commiserations to Rachel and Jeff. And obviously we have Susan Fricker as our new ward councillor, and I hope everyone enjoyed bank holiday weekends that we've been having, and we've got packed agenda, so that's it from me tonight. So we'll move on to 22-2303, apologies for absence, as we've got a full house, there won't be any apologies. 23-2404, disclosures of interest. Does anybody have any declarations of interest for items on the agenda? No? Do we have any written requests for dispensation? No? Okay. 23-2405, the minutes of the previous meeting. Has anybody got any corrections on the minutes of the previous meeting?
No.
Thank you, Howard.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Wood. All in favour of accepting the minutes? Well, you have to abstain, because you weren't here.
I'm abstaining. Yeah.
23-2406, confidential items to be discussed in confidence after item 30. Does anybody have anything on the agenda that they think needs to be discussed in confidence? No? Okay, we shall pass on. 23-2407, public participation. We do have 2 members of the public tonight. So, members of the public in mind, this is our opportunity to speak to the meeting on any topic relevant to the council. Would I be care to speak? No. Okay, thank you. 23-2408, councillor attendance. The agenda says to consider and approve the council meeting attendance report spreadsheet attached. I think that's slightly wrong because it's an example. So what the purpose is to say, is this what we want to build up as we go through this civic year and publish? So it's the format of the meeting report to be completed as we go throughout the civic year. Does anybody have any comments on it?
Chair, I have an observation. I just think that having an attendance sheet for people who are volunteers, it looks a bit like a turkey voting for Christmas, because you're a volunteer, we get no pay for these things. If we're in payment, like Bradford councillors, then I understand and fully accept that, because that's the measure of it. But as a volunteer, why should we be measured to that extent? That's just a view I have, and I just think it's wrong. I mean, certainly having a register of people who's attending will keep it in-house, not to put it into the public domain. That's my view.
I think we had something similar like this last year, and we sort of decided not to go with it.
We did actually. I think we did.
If you can down the road a
it to the new.
It will defer to the
I totally agree
Yeah.
with what Mark said.
Yeah.
With volunteers, I don't really see what the purpose is of this, considering that we all got in uncontested. You know, who else is going to do this job?
Well, I wouldn't do it if you paid me.
Councillor
I think, forget about the attendance sheet. It isn't how many people come to the meetings, it's what they do. And let's just forget about the attendance sheet.
any other comments?
Is there any statutory reason why we need to do it? Any guidance?
It's good practice,
Okay.
but the attendance is recorded in all the minutes anyway.
It's on YouTube.
I mean, it is good practice, and historically, we did do it, I think, prior to COVID, so during the first tenure of the council, it was done.
To what point then? I think that's the
It's
question.
just transparency, I would say, it's an easy way for them to
Well, the minutes,
to have a quick look.
The information's there, the information's
The
accessible,
information's
so
indeed there.
if somebody really wanted to know, they could find out
Someone
themselves.
could troll through everything and
And
find
if
everything.
someone wanted an FOI, Freedom of Information Act, the clerk would be able to find the data.
Well, people will be able to look themselves, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I propose then that we...
I'll second that.
You can't second something, are you proposing an amendment to the...
We don't have it, we kick it out altogether. And, you know, keep it in-house, and as everybody said, it's on the minutes of various meetings, people can see for themselves what's going on. So I would discount it.
So let's vote.
I'd second that.
Can you phrase that we do not, is it
Well,
that
we
we do not publish an attendance?
We don't publish
register?
an attendance register. Simple as.
Seconded.
Good.
All in favour of the amendment? Okay. We don't publish? Move on. 23/24/09, election of the vice chair. So receive nominations for the vice chair of the council.
I nominate Mr. Trudeau.
Nominations. I think it's already said.
Simultaneous.
Well, I'll certainly take the, you know, if everybody accepts it, I'd certainly take it, but I would point out that I do go away on holidays quite a few times, so I will be missing on occasions. So long as people accept that, then I'll take the role as it is.
Any other nominations? No? All in favour of Mark, vice chair? Okay. 23/24/10, ongoing items to receive information and updates on ongoing items and agree further actions where necessary. So first, Bingley Pool.
I think the Friends of Bingley are going through a bit of a transition stage. We've lost quite a lot of trustees, not through any sort of problem or anything, it's just been a natural thing as the dynamic changes and what the role of the group is. So we're just bringing other ones on board at the moment, hopefully from Bingley Swimming Club, etc. And just sort of regrouping and formulating a petition, survey and coming up with a public campaign. And then hopefully we'll be able to tell everybody more, but it's just in that sort of phase now where we're not really in a position to do anything at the moment, but hopefully over the next couple of weeks will be.
Is this the one we're going dialogue with Bradford?
Yeah, they're still ongoing dialogue with Bradford. They've advised us to put together a survey, and they've also said that they'll consider doing the same and surveying people down to see what they want from the pool. And they've also said that the councillors have said that the Advantage 42 proposal isn't going forward at the moment.
I don't think that's a surprise.
You've sold a bit of a book then for it, the poor guys have gone down the road for many months to get to a point of signing a deal and they're pulled out of that, but it's a bit off.
Well, they're never likely to give anyone an exclusive deal for 6 months.
Yeah, I think that was it, and I think Bradford Council's view was that they made that clear to Advantage 42, so it's all become a bit woolly, that side of it.
That way.
But we're focusing on getting people's views on board, getting an official gauge of what everybody wants in Bingley, and then we can take that forward to Bath and other external stakeholders.
Just a couple of little quick questions. Within this gauging what people want, would that include something like an Advantage 42 proposal as against a straight sale to highest bidder,
Yeah,
as to no water whatsoever?
yeah, that's the sort of thing, that's what we'll have on the survey.
Okay.
And then alongside that, we want to think about petition, just to give Bradford Council that information about how many people do want water space in Bingley and what kind of water space they want. But we're not saying no to anything.
The second little point, there was a Facebook thing, you were going to have a meeting 10th of May, it's been postponed. Do we have a new date for that? So
That meeting, that postponement notice doesn't, to me, sounded like it wasn't going to happen until the end of the summer.
Yeah, well, we're not really sure, to be honest, because like I say, it's getting the swimming club on board, and it's becoming difficult because they are training every night. So it's finding a time when we can meet with them and talk through what they're going to do as trustees, and then we can formulate that plan. But the public meeting, we just weren't ready because we were in this particular phase. We don't have enough staff, we don't have enough trustees to be able to prepare the sort of information. We wouldn't have had anything new to tell anyone. So it was decided to postpone it. But we haven't said when it'll be as soon as we can get all those things done, get people on board to help and support us. Because there's a lot of people who have come forward and want to assist, you know, with all these sorts of things. The legwork, if you like, but we need trustees to do the work.
Are you struggling with trustees?
Yeah, like I say, we've got a couple coming on board already, but at the moment we're down to 5 years. So it's extremely tricky to get things done.
A bit thin on the ground there.
So if anyone out there on YouTube land wants to come forward as a trustee, you'd be willing to welcome you on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any more questions on the report? No? Okay, we'll move on to climate emergency. I don't think we've got anything specific on the agenda. Is there anything anybody wants to raise? No? Okay. Speed indicator devices.
As far as I think all the information has been passed on to Craig Williams. I think we did get a response from him, and I don't know, have we had any update, Eve?
No, not since. No, we haven't had an update since we sent the, we queried and you sent a different map. We haven't heard back from him since then. So
yeah, I know David passed on a few of the pictures, and I've passed on a few in Cottingley as well. So we just waiting really.
Chasing up again.
Chasing up again.
Is what the inevitable.
I think they always keep on saying they're short of staff and this and that, but we just have to plod on.
yeah.
But it will happen. Fingers crossed. This term.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move on.
So we haven't paid any money yet, have we? No.
Well, I suppose it does raise the question of did we have the purchase of the disused budget? We assumed they would
No, we did have them in this year's budget.
did we?
Yeah.
Can we ask our new councillor to pursue it on our behalf? Because if Jeff and David were councillors, we had no hesitation into asking them to pick it up on our behalf.
We can ask the ward councillors to chase. Yes. Okay, we'll move on. 23, 24, 11, general power of competence. To consider if we want to adopt and use the general power of competence under the Localism Act. We are.
Absolutely.
We meet the criteria, so I would say we absolutely do want to do it.
Absolutely. Propose that if you want.
Both
Propose it.
against, I'll second it. All in favour? Okay. 23, 24, 12, councillor vacancies, to receive an update on the councillor vacancies. Obviously we are 2 people down at the moment, and I think we've been told, is it today, that we do not have to go for another election, thank God, and we can move straight on to co-option. So there doesn't seem to be a lot of point having an election immediately after an election when no one's stood. So we shall move on to trying to co-opt people onto the council. 23, 24, 13, appointment of committees and terms of reference to review the council's current committees and working groups and approve the terms of reference if applicable.
Excuse me, Chair. I may be a bit hard of hearing, but the acoustics are not too good here. Can we speak up a little, please?
Yes? So committees, terms of reference for the emergency support, sorry, Councillor Clough.
Yeah, I thought that the terms of reference, I may be wrong here, but I thought it said that the terms of reference would be agreed firstly by each committee at their first meeting after the annual meeting, and then we'll come back to full council for ratification.
I think we only did that last year.
But only if you want to change them from what they are. If you think there's a change, then we'd go back to the committee.
Yeah, but we haven't had a chance to do that, have we? Because we've not had a meeting. So what's the point of ratifying
Because you look at them
tonight?
now.
You're supposed to have looked at them.
Yeah.
Last
They have to
year,
come back to
we-
full council
yeah.
anyway, so if they're okay now, then they don't need to go to the committee.
I think it was last year when they came here, there was a comment about them being inconsistent.
They were.
So they were all pushed down to the committees to look at and then come back and be ratified. That's not the norm. The norm is taken at this meeting and agreed at this meeting.
And one would assume, theoretically, that you can't have a meeting unless you've agreed the terms of reference at the council to have said meeting.
Yeah, so terms of reference have to be agreed by full council.
So therefore we don't need to review them at
No.
the meeting, no.
Well, unless someone raises something here tonight that says that will go to another committee. So the emergency support subcommittee, has anybody got any comments, queries on its terms of reference?
Move it.
Second.
So proposed by Councillor Houghton, seconded by Councillor Good, that we accept it. All in favour? Thank you.
Can we take them all together?
No,
It's not
just in
really.
case. I'm sorry. I'll get through as quick as I can.
You've got to agree each committee as well going forward, so you're saying yes, we're still looking at committee.
Events, Marketing and Communications Committee. Has anybody got any?
It just mentions in that about markets. Do we just need to leave that in, or and now we don't have any markets to manage?
I don't know. I mean, we
Do you
might
want
have some markets.
Do you want to just
before
leave
the
it in
end.
case there is any market?
We might have some markets, if we have any markets.
In the
it's
future,
covered.
yeah.
Propose it then.
Proposed by Councillor Good, seconded by Councillor Carney, all in favour. The Finance and General Purposes Committee terms of reference. Any comments, suggested changes?
Proposed.
Proposed by Councillor Trueworth, seconded by Councillor Mayor, all in favour. The Neighbourhood Plan Working Group,
Proposed.
seconded. The Planning Committee,
So proposed.
proposed by Councillor Clough, seconded by Councillor Bird, all in favour, yeah. The Staffing Committee, proposed by Councillor Willard, seconded by Councillor Bird, all in favour. The Youth Involvement Working Group, I've got a big question on whether this one should still exist.
I would agree, I think we can't run with that. There's just too much involvement, isn't there?
Well, unless there is a councillor here who wishes to drive it forward, I think there's no point in having a working
No,
group.
I was,
because we formed it last year, it never met, it never moved forward, so
Chair, I think some of the relatively recent Bradford meetings I was involved with the area office people. I think thought has been given by the area office about whether something on youth could be done across the patch. So it may be that what we're thinking about here isn't quite as necessary as it would have been if that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I'd like to support that. I was having a conversation with friends of Myrtle Park at band concert on Sunday, and they've had very, very useful talks with the lads that I say lads, sorry, the users of the skate park. Very, very positive. Apparently people come from Manchester, Sheffield to use Bingley skate park. They don't want a shelter apparently, but I'm sure that as Councillor Wynnard suggested, something could be done for youth, in whatever form, through this council.
Do we think we'd be better having a...
I don't think particularly through a separate group.
Yeah.
Probably through events group, either events and marketing group or
I'm just wondering if, obviously not tonight, but when we get to agenda item 15, we've got appointments to external bodies, whether we have a youth liaison nominated person.
No.
Might be the way
The Chair, can I perhaps propose that this particular youth working group is discontinued or not proceeded with, at least for now?
Yeah, I'd second that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that.
So, all in favour of disbanding the working group?
Starting.
Started, yeah. It's a shame that we're just not...
We've got to be realistic.
Yeah, we've got to be realistic about what we can do. Okay, 23, 24, 14, election of members to committees and working groups. To elect the members of the following committees and working groups. So the emergency support subcommittee, do we have any nominations of people to be on the emergency support subcommittee?
I'll do it again.
Councillor Heseltine?
I'll do it again.
Councillor Fenton? We need 4. Councillor Clough? Councillor Good?
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to I wasn't going to go on it officially, but I would have done my bit if it arose. But if we need councillors to fulfil the roles, I'll put them on.
And Councillor Crawford. So John, you can probably really need 4. So John, if you want to be a helper, that's John. Do you want to be an official member?
I say, well,
we've got 4 now.
You've got 4.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, no, just leave it as helper then in that case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Event, Marketing and Communications Committee.
Yeah, I'll put my hand up for that one.
Councillor Good, Councillor Carney.
I think it's important.
I don't think it's going to have to move. That's enough of those. Okay. The Finance and General Purposes Committee.
Yeah.
Can you put hands right up, because there's quite a lot of hands there. So we've got Councillor Wynnard, Councillor Williams, Councillor Carney. Mark, you're on it anyway.
You're on it.
Councillor Heseltine, Councillor Fenton, Councillor Gentleman, it's everybody. Councillor Mayor, Councillor Good, and Councillor Beckley. So that is, we only need 6 people, so we're going to have to vote on people.
It's 8, isn't it?
No, because Mark and I are all
Sure on it.
yeah. So is there anyone there who would withdraw their hand before we go forward?
I will. If you've got enough hands.
How many people were there?
I think there were 10. So that's including with Mark, so...
So we're going to have to either vote on each person in turn, or everybody vote on everybody, which I don't think gives anybody enough votes to attend, really. So,
Should we draw names out of a hat or something?
no, we've got to vote.
On each person?
Unfortunately, we've got to vote. Well, we either vote, yeah, we've got to vote on each person.
Can we not leave it to...
How does that
How many have we
work?
got? 10.
Sorry?
How many have we got? 10.
10.
Can we not leave it to 10?
No, we can only have 8 altogether, that's the maximum.
We just agreed the terms of reference,
And
it
is that
says it's the
the-
maximum
We want
allowed.
6.
Terms of reference.
6.
So it's 6 plus me and Mark, plus the chair and vice chair, effectively.
If till there was 2 people,
Sorry, like 4. I thought it was 10. Can everyone who nominates her put their hands up again, please?
We'll pull down.
One,
Yeah,
two, 3,
pull
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 people for 6 places.
2 volunteers to drop out.
2 volunteers to drop out, we've got to vote then for the individual.
Then are you only allowed one vote for the whole of voting for
I
everyone?
don't think that works because there's too many people.
You're all right.
But then I could vote for everybody, couldn't
You could.
I? So,
we've got all...
But if you only vote for one person and there's 8 people, let's do it that way just and see what works.
Ideally, people should have 6 votes if there's 6 places.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
yeah.
a ballot paper.
But how you manage that, I don't know.
Yeah, you need a ballot paper
Do you want
and 6 votes.
It's really the spreadsheet, don't
You may need to spreadsheet, so do we right? You've got to count it for having 6 votes as Right, so everybody has 6 votes. We'll call out each nominee's name in turn. And we'll see where we get to. So,
Can you remind me of who we're...
I'm going to say
Who
who's put the hand up.
Beckwith, Good, Leah, Winard, Williams, Heseltine, Fenton and Jensen.
Right.
So I'm going to start with, on my right, Councillor Winard. Who's the...
Vote for myself.
You can vote for yourself. You have 6 votes.
All right, that's all.
I'm sorry, I thought they were doing it this way. How do we know everyone's had 6 votes?
I'm hoping he's going to
He's
write it down.
Voted.
Might be easy who's not voted this time. That looks pretty unanimous to me. Councillor Williams.
How old was... Sure, it was... Mark, is Mark?
No,
No,
Right,
Mark's on it.
Right, okay, yeah.
Councillor Heseltine. Councillor Fenton.
Hmm?
Are you free one to do it as well?
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you vote for yourself? Yeah.
But it does count as one of your 6. Are you alright? Yeah, that was tough. Councillor Gentleman.
Gentleman. New council, gentleman.
Councillor Mayor.
Can I just, before you do vote, I think I'll change my mind because there's 2 councillors from Cottingley. I'll just withdraw.
Oh,
For sure.
Yeah, because there's...
I don't know if people have been saving their votes for you.
I know, I just, you know, I mean, if John's there, so...
Just let me go, they go with that.
I'll
You sure?
just make it,
Okay. Councillor Good.
Me.
Councillor Beckwith. Where did we end up with that? I think that's everybody.
Yes, that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6.
Yeah.
So that's fine, isn't it?
Have we
Have
voted
we
on
missed somebody
6?
out?
Shall I use?
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
you're doing it.
Right, 1, 2,
1, 2,
3, 4,
4,
5,
5,
6, 7, 8.
Seven,
So one
eight.
down. So that means there should be
No, there's
one who's not got it.
Jeff, Steve, Andrew, William, John, Robert,
David?
David.
David. Right, sorry, David. I did write you down. You've got 12.
All that spare time on me, I was
When you're washing.
Who's the unlucky?
The one with the least votes there was Robert.
Okay, so
sorry, Robert.
Sorry,
sorry, Robert. Everybody else therefore is FNDP. Well, that was painful. Neighbourhood plan working group, we need a minimum of 4 members, nominees. Come on, we've got to finish this.
Well, we're
We're not on that.
Oh,
Just
we're
working group.
Oh, right, oh, sorry.
What else needs doing?
Consultation.
Referendum and regulations for...
Has it been finished?
It's been finished.
Yeah, okay. As long as it's-
You've got to turn up.
I'll have my name on the finished product then.
So did you get everybody there? Yeah. That was 4, yeah. Planning committee.
I'll go again.
Up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so have you got everybody? Right.
I'll have mine.
Yeah, that's 2 men. Oh no, it's not. Sorry,
That's
this is
that's fine.
you
Yeah.
two.
There's about 6,
Just
7.
to- you got everybody? Staffing committee. So that's councillors Winner, Binclough and Malik. Yeah, and then Mark on that anyway. And the youth involvement working group. Okay, 23, 24, 15, appoint councillors to external bodies. So three members for the Armed Forces Covenant.
Might do that then.
Councillor Carney. Bingley Chamber of Trade.
I already go as a member, but I'm quite happy to put both hats on.
Okay, so councillors Truelove and Heseltine. We don't, can we have up to 3? It says 3, but I don't suppose we do.
Thing is, I don't have any, we don't have any meetings this year, so I've been on it since since council started, but I don't know.
You put yourself forward again then?
You are can do, yeah.
Councillor Good.
It's usually me that does report anyway, isn't it, gents?
Bingley Pool.
No, you can help here.
Bingley Ward Partnership. I attend as chair, as long as everyone's happy with that. Canal and River Trust, 1 member to liaise. Last year it was me. As you can see some people looking at me, it'll be me again. The Parish Council Liaison Group.
What's that then?
John's done that.
Well, I've always done it, but it's, yeah, I'm happy to do
I
that.
think the question was, what does it involve?
What does it
You might
involve?
have one
It-
volunteer.
it's-
No, I'm not bothered, I just thought I'd ask.
Well,
if nobody wanted it.
basically now it's all online now, so it's you just have to sit and talk to them. But it always seems to fall on when it's a council meeting, doesn't it?
It's a meeting between Bradford Council and
All parish councils,
How often does it meet?
as and when the thing come, yeah.
I'll leave you to it then.
Johnny,
It used to, well, yeah, I mean, it used to be useful because when they used to have proper meetings, when you could go talk to other councillors and stuff, but I think I've spent about half an hour online once, haven't we, this year. Get the minutes and all that, I suppose. Continue getting that and try and report what's in the minutes if I don't get to join the meeting.
plastic free, Bingley? Do we need a member?
Plastic free now.
We are plastic free. You put your hand up there.
No, sorry. I'm just scratching my hand.
You've just bought it.
It's not an
So
option.
we are plastic free, so we're thinking that.
Plastic free Bingley, I'd like a Bingley Town Council councillor to be on it, but not me. No.
I'm in the WhatsApp group.
I mean, we do have a member of plastic free Bingley at EMAC as well, as a low member, so we're not completely divorced from them. Pub watch, anybody for pub, is pub watch actually going again?
Well, yes, it is now led by Sean, the landlord of the potting shed. And I accosted him and said why wasn't he invited, and he knew nothing about it because the lady who did it has just dropped out, no handover whatsoever. So he picked it up, and he did say he'd got a member of the council coming, which I queried, and it turned out to be Andy Olsen. So we are kind of being represented by Bingley, but I would certainly put my hand up for it now I found out.
So councillors Carney and Williams,
No free drink.
No.
Scapac, you'll carry on.
Meetings seem to be sort of few and far between.
David will tell us, sorry David, what does it stand for?
Shipley Constituency Area Panel Advisory Group.
I've said that for a few times.
And then we've got YLCA where Hector the chair and vice chair if there's anything to be done. So we can breathe a sigh of relief we've got through that bit. 23, 24, 16, finance, the schedule of payments and bank reconciliation to receive the schedule of payments and agree the bank reconciliation. Does anybody have any questions or queries on council cost?
Sorry. Lower the year was spent £207.60. It's first I've heard of that. What's all that about?
It's an award that we voted to apply for back in the autumn, I think.
Yeah.
We said we'd do it at that full council meeting to
We
get.
didn't win, obviously.
No, it's for next year.
Ongoing.
It's for this
Well,
year.
it's this year. Yeah.
I think it's July when the pilots will get a visit. Yeah.
It's £207 down the family.
We might get an award, we might get a plaque to
We
put
get a
outside.
support as well.
I think you missed the pun there.
Yeah, I got the pun, I was ignoring
No, I
it.
didn't say you missed the pun, I thought I said Rachel. I think Rachel missed the pun.
Are there any more queries on the schedule?
Public Works Loans Board, 5,112. And I suppose it's only slightly related. What is the interest rate we're paying now to the Public Works Loan Board? I mean, in which case it would be good to be informed. In due
Well, it's the same. It was fixed when we took it out.
Oh, was it fixed?
Yes, it was fixed for the duration of the loan, 20 years.
Yes, because obviously it's moved since
Yes,
then.
yes, but if that was the agreement,
Right.
yes, I'm fairly confident of that, Jeff.
Okay.
But can find out, but I'm fairly confident that's what it is.
We'll find out just your completeness. I think the only other thing is obviously there's not that much there in allotment rent yet. So we still have a
Yeah,
fair bit to come. And is the one for the 11th of May, which is what we think, is that just mistyped? We've got one that's 76:38 rather than 76:98.
No, somebody did actually send in 76:38. So, yeah. He always like, yeah, yes.
We might let them go, it's not worth it, cost us more to chase it. So, do I have a proposal for the schedule of payments? Councillor Bird, second by Councillor Bernard, all in favour? Then we've got the bank reconciliation. Anybody got any questions on the bank rec? No?
Propose.
Proposed?
Seconded.
Second. All in favour? Okay. Internal controls, to receive an update on the internal controls for 22-23 course, then for
Yeah, it was just to say that they need doing actually, but we need to agree some new internal controls people. We just didn't get round to it, did we?
we didn't get round to
Yeah.
signing them off before everyone ceased being a councillor, I think is the case.
Yeah.
So anyone who steps forward, it's councillor then something like the previous year's finance. So, bank mandate and financial controls, to agree the council's bank mandate, the 4 signatories. So, who wants to be a signatory? Who was a signatory?
Oh, I'm signatory. Is it
You're
bank
not secretary as
signatory?
well, so I'll go there.
Bank signatory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's Councillors Clough, Willard, Trudeau.
Yeah.
Good.
Right, yeah.
Okay. To agree 2 councillors to sign monthly bank reconciliations and statements, which can't be any of the previous 4.
It was Astra and Dale, wasn't it?
That's ideal, and myself, I think, yeah. I don't mind carrying on if it's okay. Yeah.
If you start, I'll do it. If you start, no one else.
And then another, completely separate to those 6, 2 councillors to undertake quarterly internal controls. Who's left?
What does that entail?
Audit of the processes.
It's just it takes about an hour once a quarter.
We just you go through a checklist, checking up on everything. It's not that bad, is it?
Is the stuff to check up on there?
Yes. Yeah, it literally is about an hour to sit down and go, have we got this? Yes, it's over, have we got this?
Can you show me that has
Is it filed? Can you see that? How do you pay that?
Can you show me a bank reconciliation that these 2 have just voted in upside? Yes, there it is.
Okay, there's a checklist already there.
Yeah, it's a
complete
checklist.
checklist.
Okay, I can do that.
We need one more, hopefully.
Can one person do it by themselves?
Yeah.
I think I've been told that it's best practice to have 2, but we'll go with
Will you
one.
tell me when it's time to do it?
Next week.
We'll go with one.
I'll send you.
We'll go with one. Okay. 23, 24, 17 policy review, to review and confirm the following. Have any of these, this is a code of conduct, financial regulations and standing orders, there's no changes in any of them, are there?
And the financial regulations were actually went through finance, didn't they,
Yeah.
before coming
So I'm quite happy to take them together if no one's got any comments on any of them.
Seconded.
Both seconded, all in favour of accepting them? Yep. 23, 24, 18, insurance, to review and confirm the council's annual insurance provision. Has anybody got any comments? on these?
I made the mistake of printing out one of the documents and went on and on for ages.
I think
Is
Councillor.
is it still on, are we still on a sort of, not a rolling contract? Insurance, we decided we'd take it out for a number of years.
3 years.
Pardon?
Yeah, 3 years.
I think this one's restarting a 3-year period, isn't it?
It looks like a bit from the documents.
Pardon?
It looks like it's restarting it because we've added to the insurance with the CP type.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's gone up, not massively.
It's restarting a 3-year period.
All right.
I think the only bit that slightly concerned me was, if I can find it. They seem to have increased our specific excess for impact damage. I don't know if this is because someone... yeah. So impact damage, it says now that our excess is £2,500. So
That's because somebody crashed on it.
that's just because someone crashed into the building. Yeah.
See, it's a once in a blue moon event.
Hopefully it will not happen again.
But I think we just do need to be aware that if it does happen again, it will cost us £2,500.
So there seem to be a lot of things in that had access to them, and it, basically you'd never ever, because the excess was so high, you'd never ever claim because it was, the excess was greater than the claim basically.
If somebody crashed into the building, would that not come off of their insurance?
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we have to pay last time?
We claimed off the insurance.
We claimed, but yeah. So
Should you be able to claim off
We
the
paid.
person's insurance whose car it was?
Yeah, but whether, I'm not quite sure whether.
We personally don't know who crashed him, but the police.
Well, we do because we've got.
And the
police report.
yeah, and the police would have pursued it, but we wouldn't necessarily know the outcome. And the insurance company saying.
Our insurers would have claimed for their insurers.
You would assume
It's
so.
that's the normal merry-go-round, isn't it?
Provided the said person that runs into it next time is insured, which might
Yeah.
always be the case, and we've had a claimable event.
That's always a problem.
So noting that, are we happy to renew the insurance on that basis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All in favour?
Yeah.
Okay. Schedule of meetings, so 2019 schedule of meetings, agree the schedule of full council and mandatory committee meetings for the forthcoming year.
I'd like to propose we keep them as they are.
I'll second that.
Hang on.
I was just going to say before there was a proposal, we mentioned last time about looking for smaller buildings. And we're having difficulty finding smaller buildings because it was a Tuesday night, and it's always been on a Tuesday night. But would it make any difference if we moved it to a different night in the week? Because we're looking to find smaller buildings because we've had 2 members of the public. We know this one. I don't know. Obviously can't, well, move to Wednesday, I suppose, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how people feel. I mean, just because it's always been on a Tuesday, does it have to stay on a Tuesday? If we're having problems with buildings, which you can perhaps answer that.
Equally, who's to say that
I'm not sure what the availability of the meeting.
they're going to be available on Wednesday.
Yeah, on the other days.
I think if people have got it diarised, and maybe some of the venues have it sort of diarised that the town council want a Tuesday for this, it seems to rock the world.
Personally, Wednesdays will be difficult for me because of parents' evenings at school and open evenings for schools, or always at my school tend to be on a Wednesday, so.
I suspect 9 days, brilliant for everybody, whatever day we pick.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody who can't do a certain days though, but I mean, we're all here on a Tuesday.
Leave it as it is.
But I made a proposal.
I'll second it.
What was it?
Keep everything as it is. Last Tuesday,
So
second Wednesday for F&G.
Last Tuesday for full council,
Yeah.
Second Tuesday for planning, second Wednesday for F&G, and others tend to be more flexible as and when. Yeah. So we're proposing we stick with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favour? 22, 24, 20, the annual report, to agree actions for the publication of the annual report. I think everybody who has something to contribute possibly has been requested to put content on Teams. Can I encourage people? I don't know if we have any. Yeah. Do you want to give a deadline?
Most certainly have, Chair.
Sorry, I apologise. Do you want a deadline?
Yeah,
What should that be?
depends when you want the annual report. It needs to be out as soon as possible.
2 weeks from today is a deadline for content.
Can we resend the Teams link and instructions out to use it, please? I don't know where it is.
You can put it in place.
What?
Oh no, go to Play Store.
So,
You can pick it up, just put it on.
Okay, then we'll progress with that. 23, 24, 21.
Play Store.
Finance and General Purposes Committee to receive an update and recommendations from F&GP. You've had the minutes. Obviously we're making progress with the allotments. We gave a £2,000 grant to Yorkshire Wellbeing and Skills Group to run some workshops in Cottingley. There's a recommendation to this group to transfer £150,000 from the utility bank account into the public sector deposit fund, so it gains some interest. Obviously, as we go through the civic year, that will need to be moved back to cover off our current account and our spend. We need to vote on that one. I'm assuming we do need to vote on that one.
Close that then.
Proposed by Councillor Bird, seconded by Councillor Heseltine. All in favour? Yep. To recommend the adoption of the new business case process, there was paperwork was circulated. It went to F&GP. F&GP kicked it upstairs. I think so.
Can I query whether we got it? Because it's not attached to the email with all the other papers. No. No, the summons to this meeting with all the other attachments in it, it's not on there.
Business case.
No.
Which case,
All right,
probably
we'll
needs to
defer
be
it. Yeah,
And would it also facilitate a change to the financial regulation to call it up once it's been approved? To dovetail it in, as it were?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
I think we can have
We'll
one.
take a view on that one. See.
We can, it depends where it ends up with agreement, obviously. Okay, well.
Shall that come on the next agenda then?
Yeah, that'll come on the next agenda. And then we've got the work on the hub. So people have been looked at the dome on the roof and the look at the roof. I think originally we were thinking we could put something like a window up there. I think just capping the whole lot off was the recommendation from F&GP, because it looks like whatever we do to it, it will blink unless we do that, because it's effectively almost a U-shaped channel and then the dome, and the channel doesn't drain. So it's a bit like a donut with an inverse donut. With somewhere just where water collects, runs up the side, and at the moment it comes over the top of the flashing that's on there. We need.
Could that not have been foreseen?
Or
should it have been foreseen?
should it have been possibly? I don't think the design would ever really been fit for purpose. To be honest, looking at it, it's very strange.
Can I just make a relevant comment? I did look through the insurance and it mentions about the flat roof, and it says they'll only insure it if it's inspected every 2 years, so we need to flag that up, that we get it inspected every every 2 years. That's
Yeah, I noticed that, and it also said you've got to do all the work they recommend within 14 days, which might be somewhat challenging for us. But yes, maybe we do what we think we need to do to implement it.
yeah.
And also, from that, the general view of F&GP was that the roof is just not suitable for solar panels at all. We've struggled to get any company to come and talk to us sensibly about it.
And
So-
given the fact what John's just said about inspecting the roof,
Yeah.
creating bigger problems.
So nice as it might have been for us to put solar panels on and reduce our electricity consumption, I don't think it's a go. So rather than continue to try, it makes sense just to drop it. I'm not looking at you, I'm just looking down there. So the recommendation is we drop work on solar panels. Any questions on that before I move on? No? 23, 24, 22, green and clean, to consider any updates in green and clean. Councillor
I
Good.
think the next litter pick will be on the 10th of June, and I'm thinking meet at the 3 Rise Locks. That's the best I can come up with at the moment. I don't get any suggestions, so you'll have to. We've worked from there before, so that's my suggestion. We're getting to the time of the year where the bedding plants should be coming at the end of this month, and almost immediately we'll be looking to get the orders for the winter bedding by the end of June. So that's all I have to report at the moment. Because reported on the last litter pick at the last full council meeting.
Yeah, okay. Any questions on green and clean for Councillor Good? No? Okay. 23, 24, 23, 5 Rise Waymarket. I still have not received any updates from Bradford on the movement of the brown signs. Canal and Rivers Trust have confirmed that they have money to put an information board in the car park, which we can direct people to. Still not convinced they've got money to do the stenciling that we're talking about. They are recruiting for someone to run Bradford events in conjunction with Bradford 2025, and want us to make a joint approach once that person's in place. So I think that's where we are on that one. Any questions on that?
Which car park are they talking about this sign?
Main Street.
Oh, okay. The one next to the Brewer's Brew House down there, or the estate agents.
The one opposite
Opposite
Martinez.
Martinez.
Because that's where the brown sign that says 3 and 5 Rise car park that's currently hanging up somewhere at the back of Wellington Street, pointing nowhere. That's where we suggested that one would go. So obviously it makes sense that you're walking that way. There's an information board of where to go. 23, 24, 24, town clerk's report. You've all had that. Any questions for the clerk? No. 23, 24, 25, BCB radio request, to consider the request from BCB radio of the council to be all involved in the radio program on local councils. Now this radio station, a gentleman came and talked to F&GP EMAC about 2 or 3 months ago. The BCB Radio have done a programme on Shipley. His suggestion of the way it would work would be it would last up to an hour. It would be effectively, I'm not sure it was going out live, but it would be a live recording. And it wanted to come to the hub, interview a few councillors, have a couple of acts, bands playing as interludes and ask councillors what they did, how council worked, and that this would then go out on this radio station. We said at the time, that EMAC said at the time, it would be something for new council to consider. So, do we want to do this? Do we want to use it as a vehicle to get our message out there, try and drum up a bit more enthusiasm from Bingley for the council, or do we not? So it's to consider the request.
What colours is it? I know it's Bradford Council, it's Bradford wide, but does it know how many listeners it has?
I've no idea.
It's
Very few.
It's not much. But we need to get people involved, don't we? Need to get more people interested. That's my thought.
If it doesn't require much effort from our team, if it's more people just having to turn up and BCB people doing the rest, I think that would, based on what Rachel said, that wouldn't do any harm.
Yeah.
I know I'd agree with that.
Would people make themselves available and be prepared to speak on air when it came to it?
Yeah.
We agree to do what we should do, shouldn't we?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't agree to do it unless we can get a reasonable number of people to turn up. So
If we all agree, everyone should be able to talk.
well,
That's my view. Otherwise, keep your hand out.
So do you want to record your vote?
It depends when it
Well, of course
is.
it is,
Yeah. If they're wanting to do it in like a few months' time, then
No,
it may be that loads of people are on holiday.
Yes. So do we think we should progress with this and come back with a date and see who's available?
Yeah.
Yeah.
one in the future, yeah.
Okay, so all in favour? Okay, we'll take that back up then. Yeah. 23, 24, 26, consultations from Highways at Bradford Council. To consider the following proposal from Highways. So the first one was provision for speed humps on Bradford Road coming into the town centre. Personally, I looked at this and I think that bit of road is getting very busy with the stuff that they've currently got on there. And I'm not entirely in favour of putting something else there until at least they've finished what they're currently doing and seen what's happening. Yeah, because it looks very, very busy to me.
It definitely needs a post. There's two sandbags and a cone at the corner of the bit where it juts out. It's an absolute waiting to happen. Is that it needs one of those other posts putting in ASAP.
I assume they're going to do it.
Well, I assume they are.
It seems to have taken forever.
It does seem to have taken forever, significant cost. The idea originally was what they proposed to put down negated the need for speed bumps.
Yeah.
What we do have to bear in mind is the bus companies are getting a bit fed up with them.
Yeah.
And we've had it from First Bus previously, where if there's another one between Bingley and Elwick, it's a commercial service, it's commercially viable for them.
Yeah.
So we really have to be careful with what measures are put in. I think Philip was right. We need to assess this original scheme when they manage to finish it before they even consider putting anything else in. That could be detrimental to bus services. Might force some of the heavies that are already rerouting for cars further up into the villages, so that we don't have to bounce all over those as well. So proceed with caution.
Just looking to put loads in that, farther along as well.
Just check your fillings.
That's my feeling, David. I agree with that.
So are we saying we write back and we think essentially it's not a good idea at this time, that they need to assess, they need to finish the current works and assess it before even considering going forward with this, and generally we're not in favour of it because it's too much.
Seconded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. And then the other proposal was the extended 20 mile an hour zone for Bingley
Oh,
Town
yeah.
Centre.
I can support that.
Yeah, that's just some paint on the road and moving a couple of signs.
Yeah.
And extended
Been in the pipeline for a
some of
long
the
time.
sites.
Yeah.
Have a
Something
suggestion
like
where activity.
Island Street,
not
there you get 20 mile an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah,
we
propose.
proposing,
Yeah.
we agree with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So 23, 24, 27 correspondence. To consider any correspondence, so email from Brentford Council about increased basis at Hazelbeck School. Noted? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyone's got any comments? We've done very,
improvements.
yeah. Email from a resident re the purchase of a coronation bench. If people read that, there was a suggestion we should buy a bench and put it somewhere in or around Jubilee Gardens. I think Jubilee Gardens probably has more than enough benches at the moment, and I'm not sure we've actually got any land to put a bench on.
No. I was wondering whether Myrtle Park, near the front of Myrtle Park, would benefit from a bench, but someone who's more familiar with it might tell me. I've no real problem with it, but it wouldn't just give an account on it, would it?
No, there will be a company.
Just a combination
I
of
think the company that's flogging them,
Yeah.
Got some-
Probably get
they're
one cheap
all marked
now.
up
We've got
for
some left, yeah.
Might get one cheap now, it's done.
what they were
Waiting.
marked. So just noted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Email from Age UK, the Bradford District Body Scheme. I think that's just something that we publicise further. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Email from the Liverpool Awards confirming the receipt of our entry. So, you know, we might be up there. Letter from Unity Trust Bank re the new post office counter service. So this is them changing their minds about pulling.
Oh, the tunes of man.
Yeah, they've
Oh,
changed
there's
their
no-
minds.
Did we get a copy? Did we get a copy of that?
I don't think it was circulated.
No, I didn't
it was
think that.
actual
Pardon?
physical snail mail went on.
They've obviously had enough people tell them it's a rotten idea and they were going to pull their accounts. That they've had
Oh, that'll save a lot
a
of
change
trouble.
of heart from existing account holders. I don't think they're going to provide that facility to new account holders, but it means we can continue to locally bank toilet cash. Emails from YLCA, various subjects, just noted.
Yeah.
Unless anyone's got any.
I didn't know whether you wanted to defer the infrastructure levy consultation. We discussed it, do you remember deferring it to the planning committee? Or?
Yeah.
Did I read somewhere, Chair, that the YLCA recommend that we retain the benefit of the 15% for local councils because we need to be involved in it, and that was they were supportive.
No, it said, sorry, it said that they were going to support 25%.
Yes, yeah, they were supporting the business as usual as it is now and not removing the local infrastructure because they felt it was important for parishes to be involved in the planning and the thing. So the YLCA was supporting what we currently do. So my question is, do we need to endorse that?
Yeah, I see.
Or is it sufficient to say to YLCA are going in that direction, so let them get on with it?
But it actually said that Nelk were going to support 25%.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's what we
And,
get to.
and where did that leave people who had a neighbourhood plan?
Was it everybody? would
You
get
see what I mean?
25%?
At the moment, if you've got a neighbourhood plan, you get 15%, but you get 25% if you've got a neighbourhood plan. But they were supporting 25% across the
And
board.
they
at
were
that
saying,
stage.
they were saying what benefit. And they
Yeah,
were,
what benefit would it have to be?
are we bothered?
Oh no, but
Given that we get 25% anyway.
Yeah.
I think all it means is we might have done all that work.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
We do the work anyway. I mean, I know we get money for it, but it's important to have a neighbourhood plan to plan.
Is it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
I think the thing here is, do we think
I don't know what
either the neighbourhood plan working
plan,
group
yeah.
or the planning committee should take a view on our response to this consultation, if we have one?
Get John's name on the neighbourhood plan working group as well.
I went to one meeting and the chap from Bradford Council came and he got on about that other
Local plan.
whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
That long time.
Or do we just note it and carry on? Or do we?
Note it and carry
I
on.
don't know.
It's not it.
We don't want to go less.
I think we should. I think we should. Like stay. You think we should support? I think we should.
Well, it's a consultation, so we'd have to respond to the consultation.
Yeah.
I think we should respond with a comment saying, as a minimum, we want to retain 25%. If we can get more, we'll have it.
More for neighbourhood.
Yeah, more.
The thing is, you'd have to.
For neighbourhood plan.
Eve, would we have to fill the whole consultation out? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, that's
It
what
looks
I mean.
like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So do we
It
want?
depends how they've set the consultation up.
Well, it was there, wasn't it? The consultation's there to read.
Well, that's their suggested responses, isn't it? But what I mean is, when you go on to the consultation itself,
That's
you
what I
might
mean.
just be able to go and just put in the one comment that you really want to make.
Right, yeah. Okay. 'Cause it's like
So we're saying we should attempt to resolve
Use the
all
class
this.
mandate.
it's just like multiple choice, isn't it? Do you agree, disagree, or don't know, basically.
Yeah.
So we will respond,
Make
say
that
we
point.
want to keep to
Okay.
Yeah,
25%.
Yeah.
Everybody in favour?
yeah.
Okay. Moving on then, emails from Bingley Chamber of Trade about the Christmas lights switch on event. I think we're trying to set up a meeting to fill in a form which would be the road closure application form. Because what they want to do is obviously have the full Saturday market, plus their additional stalls, and all the other Christmas paraphernalia. So the proposal to go to Bradford is to shut bits of Main Street for the day. We'll have to see how that is greeted.
See how it rolls out. I mean,
See how it rolls out.
We've got to apply for it first.
And the meeting's this Friday?
We've got to do,
Right.
it's this Friday afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It was the
between-
consultations that we need to do, when you apply, you've got to prove that you've consulted businesses and other bodies.
We can come up with something, can't we?
That's right, yeah, because
Presumably
sending
the
a letter out, isn't it?
Well, the chamber can just put a letter to its members, I would have thought.
So there needs to be a bit of disconnect between the chamber and the members and the organiser and us. So we try to put it together so we have some harmony to go forward.
I got the impression that they wanted us to sort of move forward with this.
Oh yeah, I think they're passing the ball to us, that's for sure, without a doubt. Yeah. And they changed the date from the last Saturday in November to the first Saturday in December. It's a week later for the lights. So, which is no concern, which is no problem to festival lights for switching. But just it's a week less of display in the town.
Is there a rationale behind that?
Yeah, because the organisers couldn't go there on the Saturday that they would normally go. Last Saturday of the month, they're all busy. They couldn't make it. The organisers. So it's just suddenly changed. We knew nothing about it. There was no debate, no discussion. It just happened.
Right.
And suddenly we got told that's the day it's going to go on.
Was that because we were sort of late to the party with getting it organised?
Sorry?
I don't think we're ever we're never invited.
We don't organise anything. They organise it. The chamber.
They just pushed us back.
They organise everything, but unfortunately they seem to be disconnected. There's there don't seem to be any, well, Jamie, the chairman, saying that they need to reinvigorate it because I think it's just died a death and there's nobody turns up, and the ones that do turn up are just 2 or 3 people that are all mates together. So it's lost its momentum. And so it was just him and really Michelle Chapman organising everything. And suddenly we get drawn into it because when we found out it was going to be a week later, I questioned why it was. It's only because really, in essence, Michelle can't make it on that other week. She's got some other engagement on. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Councillors might be interested to know that in the neighbourhood plan there's a design code for the city, the town centre, what the shop front should be looking like and the state of play, and the monitoring of said requirement is by inspection by us. So when we start going up and down the high street, Main Street, with clipboards looking at various buildings, and I would have thought that might reinvigorate the Chamber of Trade somewhat when we send them a report.
Well, it won't change it because it's going to cost money.
I don't know.
Who's going to pay for it?
Don't know. Well, we've got a right to police out.
Yeah, we can police it. It's going to be a fruitless exercise because
We'll see. It might cause
We'll
them
be
to have
wagging
a
our
meeting.
fingers at
It might cause them to have a meeting to respond to us.
Until they want to change their shop front, and we can insist that they do it on our own.
yeah, when they change it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that meeting hopefully on Friday.
Friday
we'll
afternoon,
progress that. We can report back. And
I
then
just think that the EMAC should be more involved in that, those events as well.
it should.
Going forward.
But I don't know, certainly because normally the Easter event they put on, they normally come to us for a grant for, and we haven't this year. So far we haven't had any grant requests for the Christmas event. So I don't know if effectively I think they're using up some money they were given post-COVID to do
We
that.
had given them a lot of money last year.
I think they are looking for some money because what they're trying to do is stretch the money that they've got to go over a few more years rather than.
I think it's a question of if they're going to essentially fold, they probably need to spend the money.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thinking behind it. If they can limit it a lot, then they can get a few more years out of it. But
They
the chair
received
report,
a substantial grant, didn't they, when
Yeah,
the music lab was cancelled?
yeah, that's it, 20,000.
20,000. But they had to justify it to Bradford. I don't know how they've done it, but they have to justify it. Because they're supposed to do it as each tranche of money when they have an event. Yes,
So last year we paid 50% to run both events, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Never a lot.
I think it was a lot of money.
We did pay towards the Christmas event, remember?
We did, yeah.
A big lump.
50%.
Christmas and the.
They might not have come for this Easter one, but
Yeah.
last year there was both, wasn't it?
They came to both last year.
But we don't really get involved as such in any of those, other than we organise the lights and we coordinate the light switching. But as to organising the actual event, it's down to them, the chamber, really.
What's Michelle doing?
Well, it is, yeah.
Which isn't really the way it should be either within the chamber or with us being a partner.
That's why I say it's disjointed, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
it's completely, but we need to try and progress that, don't we? But we'll see where the chamber goes.
But they'll end up wanting us to do it. That's a bit we've got to be careful of. We're enough volunteers to actually go and organise stuff like that. That's the big challenge.
It is.
I
Absolutely.
wouldn't hanker after it.
Okay, then we've got the email from the resident about concern on refuse collection arrangements on Kent Road.
That's the
They
council,
were finding it really difficult to get their bin out of their garden and onto the road.
District council
Is
should
it district council?
Yeah.
That's what I say, so that's
Yes, I need to.
Find out what Kent Road is.
Well, councillors, Marcus Dearden,
Well, I replied to the resident, giving them the
details.
Bradford Council details.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like a form you can fill in complaints and concerns now. Marcy, the chair said to just send that on to people now.
Okay, then 23, 24, 28.
There was another email that came today, wasn't there? Did that come through? I think that came from you about allotment surpluses, a scheme where
Oh, yeah.
this group in Bradford were asking, they're having a meeting in the next few weeks, I think,
More accessible.
suggesting that I'm saying we could write to our allotment holders and ask them. Basically what happens is this group supplies some plastic boxes, they put in a shaded area in that allotment on a certain day. The people put the stuff in there, any surplus stuff they've got, they put in there and they take them away and distribute them, whether it be to a market or a food bank or whatever.
That's an idea.
Yeah, so is it a time when I could propose that we get to know more from that group and then contact allotment holders and see if they're interested?
Yeah, we can do. We can also promote it out of this meeting, because obviously there's other allotment groups in Bingley that probably...
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Can we not send a poster to all the allotment holders? We do most of our business on email with the allotment
No,
holders.
we can certainly send it to all our allotment holders.
Maybe we had a wet.
I need my media training.
Right, 23, 24, 28 promotional items out of this meeting.
Apologies, I need to. That's okay.
Let pick. The budget
You
thing
chair.
with the,
Re-elected the chair.
Well, what about the constituents of the various meetings, the councillors on those meetings?
I honestly don't think
Well,
that's...
it goes on the update. Well, how about just to see the pointing them to work, because you're going to update the website anyway, aren't you? The website has the details of the meetings and which councillors are on them. So why don't we just point at that
Yeah, we could do that.
rather than we do?
We don't need to do it.
It'll be in the annual report as well, won't it?
It will, yeah, but that's been going on.
You're going to promote the buddy scheme for age.
Yeah. Have we already promoted our grant?
Yeah, it's
And then just, John, we started with the upcoming update. I'm not sure, do we want to promote
Declaration.
work with BCB right there?
Well, that's a point.
Better check that we still want to do the
How about scheduling meetings for the road chair, because we want to encourage people to come.
Yep, check more meetings. Yeah. Any more for any more on promotional items?
You think we should do something on the co-option of councillors? Do we need to promote that one?
Yeah, that we'll be sending out information about that, yeah.
Well, let's put it in the journal thing, and we will be collecting. If you couldn't stand an election, would you fancy it? So, 23, 24, 29, dates of next meeting, Tuesday, 27th of June and 6:30. And our press and public have gone, I call this meeting.